Hi, I'm Matt Frazer with Panasonic, and we're here today talking about our brand new X1 camcorder. What makes this camera unique to the marketplace, aside from the fact that it does 4K video, and that it does 4K video at 60 frames per second, is also the fact that it uses a 1-inch sensor. So by going to this 1-inch sensor, it's a sensor that's 4 times bigger than what we put in our X1000 that we just shipped about 2 years ago. This gives you much better low light sensitivity in this particular camera. We're also giving you a 20 times optical zoom lens, and the lens has 3 different rings, so you're going to have quick access to things like the zoom, aperture, and shutter speed right from the rings around the lens. With that 20 power zoom, you're also getting a very wide angle at the wide set. It's a 24mm equivalent on a full frame camera. So you're going to get really beautiful wides with this camera when you go out and shoot with it. It also incorporates many of the features that you're used to seeing from us, like having access to a MP4 as well as a .mov codec. It can shoot up to 150 megabit codec in the camera for 4K. It also offers a 200 megabit all intra codec for 1080. So if you have a computer that you might be doing some additional color corrections to, or you need to add a stabilization profile, that all intra codec is going to be much easier on your computer, so you don't have it bogging down when you apply a title overlay with stabilization. You should start seeing this camera ship hopefully sometime in November, and the price point should be right around $3,200. So another camera we're showing is the FZ2500. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm really excited about this camera. This is sort of my bridge camera of my dreams. Obviously, this has a 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor, just like the FZ1000 did. It goes to a little longer zoom. It's a 24mm to 480mm zoom, so it's 20 times zoom. What makes me excited for this is not the photography side, it's all of the great video features that we've added into this particular camera. So the first thing you'll notice is as I zoom the camera, when I adjust the zoom rocker, you'll see it never extends out and it never comes back. This is the set length, and it all internally zooms. That's because there's a set of rails inside of here that control the zoom system. This has incredibly smooth zoom action. It can do an incredibly slow zoom. On top of that, it constantly stays properly tracked. It doesn't drift like a lot of bridge cameras do as you're using the zoom. On top of that, it has a new aperture system in it, so it has this incredibly seamless, almost fluid aperture control. So as I'm panning and I'm going to areas where the exposure changes radically, I'm not going to get these coarse changes in exposure. It's a very smooth change in exposure inside the camera. My favorite feature is the inclusion of ND filters. So you have 3 different stops of ND filtration built right into the camera, along with an auto setting. So if you're going to want to stay on shutter angle, if you're shooting 24p content, you want to be at a 48th of a second, you're going to be able to hit the NDs when it gets really bright and still have your angle set correctly. On top of that, this has virtually every feature that you get in a GH4. So it's a 4K video shooter. It can do true 24 in a 4096 by 2160 aspect ratio, or 3840 by 2160. So if it's either YouTube or cinema, it can do that. It even has a 10-bit 422 output over HDMI, so I can pair it with an external recorder like a Pix 5e or an Atomos Shogun, and I can go ahead and record 10-bit content directly on the out. It even includes access for $100 to a logarithmic gamma, so it has a V-Log-L access availability as well. So for cinema shooters who want maybe a secondary camera for smaller, lightweight work, you can do that. Or if you're a guy who's looking at an ENG-style camera, but you're shooting in areas where you want to be a little more incognito, this thing behaves almost exactly like the X1 that we showed earlier, but it doesn't have the XLR audio that you would get with that piece. But if you're in an area where you really want to be incognito, or you're shooting someplace where a big camcorder might force you to have a permit to be able to shoot, this is a great alternative for you. So the FZ2500 should start shipping in November, and it's an incredibly affordable price for all the features you're getting. It's going to be selling for $11.99. For more information, please feel free to visit our website. That's Panasonic.com.